Alright, now that first weekend of IndyCar is done and complete, I'm gonna take the time to do my race review. I have a collection of tweets that I have found on Twitter/X that I'm gonna put in the video for visual effect, and two, also just talk about. Alright, so we already saw on Twitter that Breakard already made a post about IndyCar drivers getting their primetime football style intros, and how they said NASCAR's lucky to get a full field rundown sometimes, which is so true. I mean, half the time NASCAR and Fox, they just do like the top 10, maybe 5 rows, and then you're just like, alright, let's just dial up this random driver. Yeah, so obviously Fox is putting up a lot more emphasis on their IndyCar coverage just because it's a new thing for Fox, and you want to start off and make a good impression to the masses, and so that's probably why IndyCar is being covered so much better than NASCAR, because Fox has been covering NASCAR since 2001, and so they don't really care that much, it seems like. So Nathan Brown says, just saw Pato Award sign a grown man's chest with a Sharpie. Not something you see every day, and that is a full force sign of Pato Mania happening at St. Petersburg. Fifth Gear commented on how vibrant the Fox IndyCar broadcast looks like, which is so true. The colors and just how the presentation of the race is just so beautifully done. And not only to mention that, but also Will Buxton as the lead commentator was fan-freaking-tastic. Will Buxton really did a great job at studying up and learning his terminology, and also being really fluent in Italian. Took him a long way with impressing Hinch and Townsend and pronouncing Prema's team in Italian. Which
Can I get that one more time, the team name?
Preparazione Macchina. Prema Racing.
Hickey already talking about how there's not a lot of passing, but interesting that Newgarden has fallen off 3.5 seconds back of Colin Milot. That was because he had to save fuel. We didn't know at the time, but now, 4 or 5 days later, Newgarden was miscalculated on fuel by his team and had to let Dixon by with about like 2. Well, he had to slow up a bunch with 2 to go, and then eventually let Dixon by on the last lap, and then pretty much had to coast to the checkered flag. This is very relatable. It was a little bit of a meme with Colton Herta when he had that left rear issue early on in this race, which really derailed his potential top 5 finish to relegating him to a 16th place finish, which is devastating for me as a Herta fan. So Fifth Gear said, yeah, I'm so done, and it's this meme where it says, oh boy, am I excited to watch my favorite team play, and then the other half is, I'm going to kill myself, and it's just a Colton Herta car graphic on there. So I felt that one to the core when I watched that right rear fumble on that pit stop. Gregum said on Twitter, please Fox, we need these type of timing graphics for IndyCar qualifying. It gives context as to what's going on. Perfectly said. Pretty much just providing a quick screenshot of the qualifying graphic that NBC used, whereas you're able to see like the delta or like the time to beat and the cutoff line for the next round of qualifying. So if Fox can pounce on that, they'll be really set for the rest of the season. And Denny Deliver says, oh my gosh, it's like, OMG, it's like the commercial. They only saw the back of his car. Yeah, Fox did a really good job at promoting Palou, and Palou did himself a favor and left the field in the dust with the crazy strategy he had. Then Hickey tweeting out Rinus VeeKay top 10 on debut with Dale Coyne Racing. Fantastic result by Rinus VeeKay, who literally signed a contract with Dale Coyne Racing about like a week or so prior to the start of St. Petersburg. So great stuff from him. And allegedly there's rumors that VeeKay might be going to Meyershank Racing or CGR in the near future. There's also rumors that Will Power may be going over to WEC if he doesn't have a contract for next year. He's on a contract year, as we all know, this year with Penske. So if Power doesn't get signed for next season, Armstrong or Malukas is going to be the top candidate to take his spot for 2026. Allegedly, these aren't confirmed. This is just rumors. but it's just stuff I've been hearing around the block. Now time to get into a little bit of the stats part of this video. Matt Archuleta, for comparison, last year he tweeted out total passes 122, position passes 97. This year, with the hybrid and everything, this year total passes 75, position passes 53. So a significant decrease in quality of passes. Some say it's the hybrid to blame with the extra weight and the fuel strategy too, and having less cautions compared to last season. So it's not a perfect science. IndyCar racing, motorsports racing in general, is not perfect science. Anything happens, and so it's last year's race is completely different to like how this year's race went down, obviously, and the cautions had a say in it, yes, as to why there's so much more passes last year compared to this year. But it's something that we're going to be getting used to with the hybrid system. We can't really put it 100% to blame right now, but it does take about like 65% of the blame, maybe 70% of the blame. Something crazy that I saw on my feed was from Brian Friedrich. Scott Dixon had no radio, which makes his second place even more impressive, which I had learned about on the Hinch and Rossi podcast as well. Dixon had no radio for the race at all, and it's probably what like prevented him from actually winning the race over Palou, because Dixon pitted with about lap traffic in front of him and kind of like stopped him from gaining more time over Palou in the pit stop exchange there. So if Dixon had the radio, you're probably looking at Scott Dixon getting his first win at St. Petersburg. IndyCar Hub posted after the race, IndyCar and Fox race coverage #1 rating, 7.5 out of 10. Booth is great. Need graphics for push to pass entire compound. I agree with that. Yes. Push to pass was mentioned a couple times in the broadcast, and we had no idea as a viewer what was happening because there was no graphic for us to see. Like, I agree with the tire compound graphic being on screen. It should be a constant thing, I believe, or at least after like the first couple of laps, and then after pit stops, that should be like a thing that just pops up after those moments, just so we know what's happening with strategy. Now, some finishing thoughts on today's video. I did get a comment on my post that I put on my X. I suggest you guys follow my Twitter handle so that you guys can ask me questions that will be featured in this video. So first one comes from Rob Dillon. Thoughts on Fox's overall coverage for their inaugural broadcast of IndyCar? Does it already surpass any of NASCAR's coverage, regardless of it's on Fox, NBC, etc.? First half of that question, thoughts on Fox's overall coverage. I believe it laid a really solid groundwork for what we can expect going forward the rest of the season. And I think that what they did was good. They had pretty much a really good starting point to build off of going forward, pretty much tying into what I just said a minute ago, pretty much laying the groundwork for the rest of the season. So great job from Fox. I already love like the coverage they had, the drone shots, the camera work. The production value was so much better than what we've had in the past with NBC, and also drew in, obviously, the everyone's seen the analytics, 1.4 million viewers on Fox, so that's awesome news to see. Does it already surpass any of NASCAR's coverage? Yes, instantly yes. It already surpasses everything Fox has done for NASCAR in the past 6 years, pretty much. It's a little bit better than NASCAR and NBC for sure, just in the way the pre-races hyped up. But yeah, overall, Fox did a fantastic job with coverage. Jack Harvey was a great addition to the pit road reporters. Obviously, it's his first time doing it, but he did a great job doing it as a first time. Obviously, interviewing A-Rod was no easy task to do in your first try, so the fact that he was able to do that and make it seem pretty fluid was a great job. So yeah, great job by Fox. And yeah, if you guys want to be mentioned in this type of video going forward, make sure you reply to my Twitter post that I put out at the end of each race, and make sure to follow my Twitter down below. I'll have that linked in the description, and also hopefully in the top right of this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more race reviews like this. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Here they come. Woo!